Hey everybody. Let's see how long it takes you all to find me. It is 11:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, EST, on November the 2nd. So I'm guessing you'll go find me in a minute. All right, let me show you what it looks like here in my little odd artist house. I've got myself a nice little fire going. Hey Denise, I'm trying to get the zoom. There we go. See the fire I've got going, isn't that nice? It's all cozy feeling and chilly too. And there goes Chipper. He was up here. He's moving over that way now. And Sugar is on the back of the couch, kneading the blanket. Bless her heart. She's getting in the mood, into the comfort mood. So, little Sugar with the buffalo artwork up there. And I don't know. Oh, Chipper's having a snack over there. But anyway, it's my very unique fireplace. I found it up in Michigan and had it shipped down here by truck. I have another one up there. You can sort of see it. It's sort of a cone-shaped white. That's for my upstairs art studio / bedroom. It's smaller. It works great. And I love my fireplaces. I enjoy having a fire in the wintertime. Nothing quite like a fireplace wood fire. So good morning, everyone. It's still morning, barely. And welcome, everybody. I'm going to try to not chat with everyone because some people find it terribly annoying. But you know what? This is our little thing here, so we can do it the way we need to. Hey, Patricia. Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Hey. It's so good to see everyone. Okay. Y'all, there's so much going on, and I haven't done a live chat in a little while. I just wanted to come on and talk to you a while about everything. Oh, well, thank you, Deborah. Deborah sent me 100 stars. Thank you. 1 star equals 1 penny or 1 cent. For those of you who are not familiar with stars, and I didn't used to be familiar with them at all, but I am now, and you all show a lot of love through them to me, and I appreciate it. So Deborah just sent me $1, $1. Thank you, Deborah. I receive it like a hug from you to me. Okay, y'all, what all's going on today? Let's start out by taking a look at the Schumann resonance on the Tomsk University charts. Hey, everybody. Everybody's coming on here. All right, here we go. Now, it is daylight, so we're going to have some reflection on the screen of my iPad, but we'll work with it. It's a cloudy, drizzly, rainy, chilly day here, and I showed you all earlier my fire. Oh, it's getting really pretty right now. Look at that. Such a blessing. I love my fireplace. Okay, I built this house. It's basically a glorified barn. Well, let me show you. It's wide open here in the living room. And that's a loft, no railing or anything. No, it's not kid safe here, but there have been plenty of kids here. And upstairs is my studio, and there's my other fireplace. And I have 26 windows in my house. It's not a big house. It just has a lot of light in it. I like that. And upstairs is my art studio and my bedroom. And that doorway over there is a doorway to a bathroom and to the laundry / guest room. And it's unconventional. It's different, but I love it. I have a bunch of porches. It's kind of unfinished. Someday, there's sugar. Someday I will finish it. And I'm believing that's going to be very soon when I'm able to get it finished. Like baseboards would be nice, and something besides a subfloor would be nice. I painted the subfloor myself with oil base paint, and it's held up pretty good downstairs here, but upstairs it's chipping. But I'm not conventional. I'm sure you all know that. And I'm a professional artist also. We tend to be a little different. And I just don't care. I like it the way it is. Okay, look here. Wow. Look at all that white. That's what we call white out. Okay. The color chart is on the right here, as you can see. Wait a minute. Is that a... Huh. What am I seeing? There's a cat hair on the screen. I wanted to move it off. It's gone now. On the right, you see the color chart. Blue, dark blue is the background, and then green is the next color, and then yellow or gold, orange, red, and white. They have added that to the chart. In the beginning, even before my time of watching these charts, all there was the blue background and the green. Now, this is just a quick thing for those of you who haven't heard me explain this in the past. These horizontal lines, this is what's called the Schumann resonance. It is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. It's at 7.8, wait just a moment. Okay, that was strange. Something strange came up there. Hang on just a minute, y'all. I don't know what that was. Okay, the hertz on this chart, the hertz frequencies show up on the left side. And you can see the lower hertz are at the top and the higher at the bottom. It goes from 0 to 40. And right here is 7.83 hertz, which is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Used to be this chart was basically just this blue background with a horizontal green line for the Schumann resonance, the baseline, as it's also called. And, pardon me, I'm trying to hold this still. That's what we used to look at, apparently. Now, then we have these spikes. Also, notice we have other horizontal lines showing up. You can see a hint of it today, and some days you can see them very clearly defined. This is called the second. Okay, this is the first Schumann resonance. This is the second, third, fourth, fifth, etc., like that. And they're the horizontal lines, which is what this is supposed to be showing. But when you're looking at this, you have gone beyond the color options and you've gone into white out. White out means it's way beyond this chart's normal color reach and it's just blowing it out. We're seeing a whole lot of that recently, a whole lot today. And the frequencies it's running in, if you follow this over, it comes down past this last horizontal line. So where are we? We're down to like 24 plus. That's a lot, okay? And each of these frequencies stands for something, and it influences those frequencies which correlate to our brain waves. How about that? So if we're way up here in these very low number frequencies, the hertz, you're going to feel drowsy. You're going to feel kind of sleepy maybe. And they have discovered, okay, if you go above like 32, 36 to 40 or above, you're now into what they call gamma, which is a super high frequency for the human brain. They didn't even think we were capable of it, but we are. This is where athletes call it the zone. Other people that are creators or performers or scientists and inventors or mystics or people who walk outside the normal line of existence here can experience this. But when we see the frequencies going all the way down into this, everyone can experience it. Some people feel anxiety. Why? Because we feel anxiety every time we feel anything that is not what we're familiar with and what is not ordinary. That's why I say to all, relax, take it easy, just take some deep breaths and don't worry. This is A-okay. Everything is fine. We're being upgraded. We're receiving downloads, etc. They have found out the same thing down here, this major gamma wave that's possible with us is also possible way up here at the zero line. But it's a different feeling. This one is very hyperactive, maybe, very alert. This one is very calm, very still, very alert, but almost as if you're asleep. And it is also the zone and the place of incredible possibilities. And all in between, each of these stand for different brain waves, and I'm going to show that chart to you all today. So you see we've got a lot of super high frequency happening, very powerful frequency, spanning a lot of hertz ranges, and all these vertical lines we call amplitude when we're dealing with the Schumann resonance. This is not exactly what might strictly be called the Schumann resonance. Those are the horizontal lines. But this is amplitude or power, which honestly, to be just real explanatory about it, all of these make up the Schumann resonance. All of these frequencies that come together and form the Schumann resonance, which of course flows between the crust of the earth up to the ionosphere at the top of our atmosphere. It's extremely conductive and filled with high energy up there. And it bounces from the crust of the earth all the way up to the ionosphere and back down. That's why they call it the Schumann wave, because it does this. So if it shows up in Italy on the charts, it's not just in Italy. It's just Italy has an observatory that's picking up on the Schumann resonance in Italy. But it's also going to be taking place everywhere, because those energies that come mostly from lightning and things like that go into our atmosphere and form this wave. So it's going to be everywhere, and it will influence the whole earth, because it runs between what they call the cavity of our atmosphere, between the crust and the top. So let's take a look now. Since we're in this super high zone with really high frequency stuff, let me take you to a chart I came up with. Now, hang on. Well, let's look at this too. Let's go down. There's the black spike. What is a black spike? It is the absence of information. That's the background showing through, which in this case is a black background. You can see the grid showing through. And I have an explanation of what a black spike is that I tend to post every time we have one. I post it down in the comments. This is indicative of the opportunity or availability of timeline shifts or jumps, or pardon me, spatial anomalies that can occur. We've seen this happen. That is anecdotal. It is not, we're not going to be able to show you just accepted scientific evidence of these, but many of us have experienced things whenever these show up. We haven't seen one in quite some time. So y'all hang on here with me just a minute. I'm going to go over to my notes and I'm going to pull up the frequencies article I wrote years ago. Yes, I cut my hair. It's shorter, if anyone's noticing. I left it long in the back. It's like I got a bi-level going on. But it was kind of bugging me. And I kind of like it to puff a little bit instead of laying flat. So there we have it. Hopefully I won't mess with it too much during our live chat today. Here is the article I wrote. And I have dropped this in numerous times into our, let's see if this will help. Yeah, that's a little better. I've dropped it in numerous times into the comments, and I've posted it on the page. You may not be able to read this. It depends on whether you're looking on a cell phone or whatever, but I'm going to read it to you. Schumann resonance chart frequencies and the corresponding human brain waves by yours truly. I've created a quick reference chart included in the short article that you may use to help understand how the frequencies represented on the Tomsk, Russia Schumann resonance chart may be influencing you as well as those around you. Yeah, many of you have said, well, what does this have to do with me? Well, we're going to talk about it. How it actually messes with us, encourages us, stirs us up, as well as all the DNA upgrades going on. Okay. In response to a popular question, I'd like to attempt to explain some things about the Schumann resonance chart, especially the colors and frequencies and how they may affect us and other mammals on Earth. White is the most intense of the colors available on the Schumann resonance, and when you see white, it represents the top level of frequency intensity available. This chart is read from left to right horizontally. The most recent information is represented on the far right. We just looked at that. The highest frequencies are at the bottom of the chart. And yes, it does seem counterintuitive. And this is the Russian chart only. The alternative charts, as I call them, and pardon that white up here, that's my second story window showing above me. On the Italian charts, it looks different, and red is the highest frequency available, besides black, which does show up there also. The Hertz frequencies are listed on the far left border. We talked about that already. At this time, blah, 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 forget all that. And I talked about all these things, but the large expanse shows activity in the wide range of 1 Hertz to 26. It also goes all the way to 40, which we looked at. This corresponds with the brain waves of delta, theta, alpha, and beta, and those are very common and accepted brain waves for human beings. So today we're experiencing a wide cocktail of possible brain frequencies affecting, what am I saying here? Hold on. I hate reading stuff. Basically, it means that there's a wide range on the Schumann resonance that can influence our brains because we tend to correspond to them. There are days you feel sleepy. There are days you feel annoyed or irritated. There are days you feel very alert. All of this is influenced by what's happening on the Schumann resonance. And that's what we're going to look at. The frequencies represented, on the Schumann resonance, they correspond to the human brain waves. Number one, delta, which is 0 hertz to 4 hertz. This occurs in deep dreamless sleep, and it's associated with drowsiness. So when you see the charts showing that, colors and activity in that range, you may very well feel drowsy because, your brain waves are going to naturally correlate to the Schumann resonance. Human beings and all mammals are highly connected to the Schumann resonance. When humankind first went into space, and they were trying to hang out up there, what they found was that people started acting sickly and like they just weren't right. And they figured that out, and they piped in the Schumann resonance frequencies into the spacecraft, and everyone started feeling normal again. It's really important. The Schumann resonance is a huge deal with us. All right. Theta is the second one, which is 4 hertz to 8 hertz. It occurs at the first sleep stage and during meditation. It's also associated with drowsiness. Alpha is 8 hertz to 12 hertz. Now remember, the main Schumann resonance is 8.73 hertz. So you're into alpha at that point. This occurs in relaxed alertness in adults, associated with daydreaminess. Children live in this state. Creatives tend to live more in this state too, like artists and writers and all kinds of artist types. With this in mind, if you're experiencing some drowsiness or dreamy feelings, it would be understandable when we're in that place on the Schumann. So, if one would reference this chart showing corresponding brain waves associated with the frequencies represented on the Schumann resonance, one could conceivably understand how these frequencies could be affecting oneself as well as others. Even your pets might be noticeably affected by these frequencies. You might want to keep this in mind when you go out on the roadways and consider how it might be influencing other drivers. Yes, definitely. Sensitives and empathic people seem to be more influenced by the fluctuations represented on the Schumann resonance graphs. So be especially kind to yourself and others during an unusual spike and fluctuations on the Schumann resonance charts. Now, I did a little quick chart. I will plan on posting this so you can see which frequencies go with what. But I think that's enough of that. And I'll plan on dropping that into the comments. So, as we already looked at the Schumann from Tomsk University, some of you may have just shown up. So let me show that to you again. Right here is where we are today. We were in big time whiteout, but look, the far right is what we are experiencing right now. Far right is always the most recent. We're coming up on noon, and that's what's showing right here. So there we are. Things are calming down somewhat at this point. Now, are y'all still with me? I hope this is helpful. Those of you who've been with me for a while, I hope it's not too boring. Where did everybody's comments go? Oh, there you are. Well, hey, now I see people on here. Okay. Oh, that makes me feel better. Somehow I got everything turned off there and I couldn't see you all. So it looks like our global community has shown up. Wonderful. Let's take a look really quick at some of the other charts and see what's happening today. We've looked at the Russian charts. Let's come over and take a quick look at the alternative charts. And we don't have any lightning issues. And that sometimes can influence charts, but we don't have any of that going on right now. Here is Kumiana. And as you can see, this is the one that's commonly on apps. One of the apps you may want to get if you don't already have, and it's very inexpensive. It's like under $3 one time, is the Quick Schumann Check. Or you can look it up on the App Store just under Schumann Resonance. This right here is a nice little spike, and it's in red, and it occurred somewhere about 17 UTC, because here's 16. So 17 UTC, and right now it is 17:15 UTC. So that just happened not long ago. Everything else on here looks pretty calm. We have this odd plaid looking pattern up here, which has been going on for a few days now. And earlier on, at about 12 UTC, we had a spike, and it was significant. You see the red, which is the most intense, and that went on up off the chart. So how high is off the chart? As you can see right here, we have 100 hertz. And this does show the hertz cycles on the alternative charts, and it actually goes to 105 hertz. Okay, so that was substantial at about 12 UTC, and we're right now at 17:15 UTC, so you all can figure that out yourselves for what time it was where you live. And here we were having some major spiking, big time, but that was days ago. Let's go ahead and look through the charts. Lots of activity at Etna Observatory. Some of these are frozen and stuck. This one is stuck on the 29th, as is this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. My. They're all stuck. All that nice purple was showing up on the 29th. Here we are, finally, one that is actually on today. This is on November 2nd, and we can see a lot of activity, but it's in the lower hertz area with some spikes and anomalies. Then coming on down, we see there was a big spike, but that was, if you look really close, that was October 30th. Coming on down, this one is today, and this covers the hours that are shown at the bottom. So 17 is over this way, of course. This is at about 12:30 UTC. That was a whale of a spike. And look at all the strange symbols in it. All the breakups and segments. Who knows exactly what that means, but it's unique. It is unique, and it was high frequency. Which we're seeing this on multiple charts. This one I wanted you all to look at. This is a graph. Down here at the bottom, we see that red is 1 to 5 hertz. The first Schumann resonance is represented by the green line. Second Schumann resonance is represented by the blue. Purple is 1 to 49 hertz. look at this. Look at all of that. We are spanning a very wide range here. And right there, which was, I think, late last night, that was pretty major. Big spiking, lots of stuff going on, all the different colors. This is an overall chart that shows you segments of time all during the day, and it is on today. And here you see this very odd signature. I showed this to you on our page. This is very odd. It's reminiscent of Father's Day, I think, which was in 2023 when we saw that strange tapestry type pattern. Here you see it represented again, right there. And coming on through, we see a consistency that this is happening on many charts. And there it is again. This doesn't show what time it is exactly, but this entire thing is done in segments and showing wide ranges. And I don't think we have anything showing up down here. So what does this mean? Which so often people will toss at me in the comments and I have to laugh. I can't answer such wide ranges in questions. You gotta be a little more specific with me. But what does this mean as to right now, what I'm talking about to you all? It means that there are very high frequencies occurring, but they're happening in isolated spikes showing up as far as the alternative charts are recording. But we are in a high frequency range happening with the Russian chart. We're seeing that in the white. And the range, as we have seen throughout here, is very wide. So a lot of your brain frequencies are going to be messed with today. If you find yourself dealing with the past, that'll be understandable, because as we saw on the Russian chart, there's all kinds of stuff up in the low frequency. That low frequency is going to deal with relationships, happenings in your life that are unresolved. Actually, a lot all the way through, it will deal with that as far as range. So you may be having memories, you may have people coming to mind, you may be having very interesting dreams. I think that is spanning just about everybody's experience. Even if you don't remember them, you can have a sense that you experienced something or went somewhere or met with someone in your sleep. Okay, John says, I usually don't talk about my dreams or my live videos, but I did today. On my live videos, but I did today. Okay. Blue Nova, yes, absolutely. Says maybe the past is brought to us because it needs healing. All of this is about that. All of it is about healing. All of it is about upgrade and resolving issues and fixing things that are stuck. Definitely. Michelle says she slept so good, woke up at 4:44, ready to get up and go. Yes, I woke up, not last night, the night before at 3:30, and I was awake all day until I finally went to bed somewhere around midnight. But my energy stayed with me until it got dark, and then I started feeling kind of tired. So I was running on about 2.5 hours sleep, and I just didn't feel it. It was very unusual yesterday for me. However, last night, I slept a good, from about midnight to about 8. So I got 8 hours of sleep last night, and I feel good. I had a moment of feeling really drowsy earlier today, and I didn't really note what was connected with it. It may very well have been something on the charts, maybe not. But we are all processing many things. And as I've shared many times with you, but we have so many new folks, I'm going to say it again. Your body has energy pathways that runs all the way from up, down your nervous system. Eastern medicine calls them meridians. They're like energy superhighways that run through you, down your trunk, your legs, your arms, all the way. And through our experiences in life, we go through trauma, difficulty, have some sicknesses, injuries, emotional trauma, whatever. Energies can get stuck on us and in us. So what I mean by that is like, imagine these energy highways running through you and this dark, icky, sticky, heavy energy like a glob of something gets stuck onto one of your meridians or the part of your meridian energy pathway that goes through an organ. You know what happens? You might have some health issues pertaining to that organ or that organ system or that part of the body, because now that energy is blocked and hindered. So the same thing with emotional areas, because we're all of that. All of this is reflected in our energy body, our physical body, all the different systems running in it. So when these high frequency energies and spikes come in and hit us, it is going to hit those stuck areas where that icky, heavy, dark, sticky energy is blocking and hindering the flow, because that's what we want. We want to have a good flow going on, because everything's about flow. You don't want to block up a waterway or become stagnant. It won't be flowing. Stuff will grow in it you don't want. You want it to move. Same thing with our bodies. We want things flowing and moving. We want the energies moving through us in a healthy way. So when these energies are coming in, it's like, bam, smacking into these heavy, sticky, dark, low frequency energy blocks. And you may feel some weird symptoms, some weird feelings, some physical symptoms, or maybe a headache, or maybe you feel a little nauseated or irritated or afraid, frustrated, tired, overwhelmed. All of that kind of stuff goes with what we call ascension symptoms, because these energies are coming in to transform us, to help break us free from the low frequencies so that we can ascend up and become more like Source, more like love, more like light, more like unconditional divine love, in which there is flow, and we don't experience this judgment or limited boxy type thing that has so many of us humans captured inside of systems and cultures and religions that are not true, that are not primarily spirit and divine unconditional love. So, as these energies come in, we're being adjusted. And this dark, low frequency stuff in us is getting stirred up. So it may show up in your dreams. It may show up in your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. You may have physical symptoms and you're like, dang, what is wrong with me? Well, smile. Smile, because it means you are being changed. Now, if you want to fight against it, you can. It won't do you a bit of good. It may then hold you back. It may cause you more sensitivities and more symptoms, more frustration. Or it may be like I tell myself and others for years, if you don't pass this test, you'll just have to take it again. Might as well flow with it. Take deep breaths and be grateful and thankful and realize that the things you've been asking for, you're being given. You know that funny thing I do, well, somebody else created it. I'm going to go find it here for you. We are always asking for wonderful, powerful things to come to us because we want to do great things, etc., etc. And then so often when they actually come, we're like, oh my gosh, this is rough. This is a really funny one. At the top, me asking for DNA activations. All wonderful, Buddhist monk look, out in nature. Me when they actually arrive. Yeah, that can be what it's like. That's why I say to all, be kind to your wee little selves. Be patient. Be merciful to yourself and to others around you. Little Sugar Cat has been really having a tough time. She's done okay today, but as you can see, she's passed out on the back of the couch. She's getting rest right now. I don't know where Chipper is. I don't see him anywhere right now. But she had a tough time during the really high energies we dealt with recently with the solar flares and everything coming in. She was getting sick to her tummy multiple times a day. It was rough. Chipper only had a couple of episodes, but Sugar didn't want to eat. She didn't feel well. She kept upchucking, and I was just concerned for her, but I kept asking and I kept finding it's the energies. The energies it's just being tough on her right now, and she's going to be just fine. And that's what we got to remind ourselves. We're going to be just fine. This is good stuff. This is our prison planet. It's a breakout. We're being given like a file in the cake. You know what I mean? When some old lady comes and brings somebody a cake, you know, when they're in jail and inside they find the file or whatever they needed to break out. We're being given the tools. These upgrades, these high frequencies are creating in us the things that we need and that we lost through what happened to humankind here on the earth. What was stolen from us. And of course, many people believe we used to have not just 2 strands of DNA, but 3. And the third one carried the godlike characteristics. And some of us are busting through to those, seeing a lot of what would be called miracles or things that are beyond what's considered normal. Busting through the brass or the glass ceiling. Just like Neo in the Matrix, because it's really not real. All things are possible to them who believe. If you can see it, feel it, imagine it, visualize it, speak it out of your mouth, and feel in your heart, just as if it has already happened, it will. It will. And that is in so many ancient writings. So be encouraged, you all. This is good stuff happening. And don't be afraid. Fear is one of the lowest frequencies you can be involved in, and we don't want it. And if what you're watching on TV creates fear, trepidation, anxiety, sadness, or distress, then don't watch it. Is that what you want? I don't think so. I realize we're having brain entrainment. We're being hypnotized. We are being brainwashed by whatever we're watching many times on mainstream media. Things are coded in. There are frequencies. There's backmasking. There's all kinds of things out there. So watch your heart. Watch your feelings. Like the thermometer it is. And if you're feeling something you don't want to, be conscious of it. Say, well, where is this coming from? If it's coming from what you're watching or listening to or who you're hanging out with, well, maybe you might want to shift gears and go another direction. That's what I'm doing a lot of. I don't even have access to local news. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I never was into it anyway. The only thing I like local news for is weather, to see what's happening. I want to see if we might finally get some snow someday down here in the South. It was always a treat because it's always been so rare. All right, I'm looking at space weather. Let's just take a quick look here. This is spaceweatherlive.com for those of you who are new. And whoa, almost lost my high-tech setup here. And that's a joke. Hang on. I have to get my poor worn-out little iPad stand back in line. Hang on while I fix it. Get my fancy chopstick pointer prepared. Okay, here we go. Hopefully that will stay. Now, KP3, actually a little bit below. Nothing notable on the KP index. Here we have the aurora, and you can see where it is around the world. Here is where nighttime starts, going over this direction. The rest of us here are in daytime. The solar wind is kind of high at 516.71 kilometers per second. Pardon me, it's hard to hold this phone and balance everything. Nothing outstanding with density really right now. It's just a little elevated. Interplanetary magnetic field, just a tiny bit elevated. We are in South BZ, which means the energies and the polarities of the sun and the earth are interacting big time right now. So whatever's going on, we can feel it. All right. Now, hemispheric power is a little elevated. We're currently at about 56 gigawatts, but we were around 61. That is indicative of aurora. When you see it elevated, we have seen it way up over 100 before. The storm and storm time index is not showing storming at this time. And here is the phase of the moon. Woohoo, coming up on the full moon, not too far off. And those of you who are lunatics, I'm playing with you. That's where the term came from. People who are deeply and strongly influenced by the full moon or the moon phases. Here we see we have a coronal hole coming around. In the next few days, it's going to be Earth facing and nearly on the equator of the sun. So we may get some impressive solar wind coming out of that. But it takes, just like solar flares, it takes a while for it to reach Earth. So 2 or 3, 4 days. Look at what's coming around the bend. We've been seeing all this tremendous activity on the far side. This is a particular solar flare or solar spot that's producing incredible flares. And it's been interacting with 3I Atlas. And that very notable solar spot is starting to come back around. Have you ever seen the sun so blank? The sunspots, there's only two showing. Two that are notable enough to even be numbered or named. Look at that. This is very rare, very unusual. But what's coming around the bend may be really impressive. And the solar flares are mild right now. They're staying in the C range. And for you newbies, here is the range. A and B is quiet for a solar flare. We don't even pay mind to it. C is a small flare. M is a strong flare. And X is major. That's the highest it goes. And the numbers attached with the letter are important for the strength of it. Solar protons and solar radiation. We see a little elevation that's been occurring with some of the things that were happening. Nothing major or really notable at all. All right, let's look at some more data. Here we can see another scale to, well, hold on, let me get this. Okay, to give us an overview of solar flares, and this is showing 3 days. We have only had one M flare, and that was yesterday. I posted, I think it was an M1.08. Yes, it was. Okay, now, just for the fun of it, let's see what's going on. Let's see if this is back online. It was where we couldn't even watch this, and this is one of my favorite things to keep an eye on. Yay, it's back on. Okay. And here, this is the sun in the center, that little white circle, and all that shooting out around it is from solar flares and so forth coming out, and I'm not seeing anything outstanding or notable at this point. See a little something starting right here. A little flare kicking out, but it's not outstanding. And it looks like the backside of the sun is fairly calm, though we do have radiating stuff happening there. Let's see if I can get it where you can see it a little better. It's all kind of washed out when it's seen through my iPhone. Okay. There you can see it a little more in some of the darker areas. Nothing unusual. I'm not seeing anything streaking past the sun or any huge solar flares. However, this is a continual halo effect happening off the backside, and it's lasting hour after hour after hour after hour. A little something odd up in here. Often you might want to look in the dark spots because things can be kind of hidden and cloaked. All right, here we have a little solar flare cranking up, coming out, beginning to explode out. That's kind of interesting looking. And it continues. All right, and down. My goodness, I didn't know there was that much on this time, but there sure is. Look at all this. That was today, not long ago, 1638, and we were at 1715 when we started this live chat, right around there. Okay, so we're just doing a general overview here. I'm going to show you something a little bit exciting, and I don't want you to freak out, okay? No freaking out allowed. You know, I did a whole live chat on 3i Atlas. One person I would encourage you to check out is David Sarita. He is on Facebook. He is a physicist, etc., etc. He's really amazing and unique. And he's showing something new here I'm going to have to check out later. I'm not sure what that's about. But I want you to see a particular post he did. I'm going to have to back through here a little bit to get to it. Okay. That's not it. I actually made a comment on here. I think this is the one. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Take a deep breath. No fear allowed. Here we go. David Sarita. He wrote, pardon me, gotta get the whole thing up here. Richard C. Hoagland wrote, after seeing the new images I grabbed off of the still-running NASA and LASCO C3 camera October 30th, 2025, pointed at the sun. This is not a time-lapse streak. Details are too sharp, nor is it a, quote, camera malfunction, unquote, nor is it 3-eye atlas. This man, Richard Hoagland, said, this is a shattered secret space force warcraft, which was apparently killed by its encounter with 3-eye atlas or the other ships accompanying it on the other side of the sun. Stay timed. I'm thinking maybe that means tuned. And here's the image. Now, they were watching 3-eye atlas to see how it would manage to pass the sun, because the pull of the sun can cause comets to break apart. And this is clearly, whatever it is breaking apart. Now, this man, not David Sarita, but this Richard Hoagland, thinks that this is a secret Space Force warcraft. Interesting concept, interesting thought, which was evidently, he says, apparently intercepted in its encounter with 3-eye atlas. And he's implying that something took it out. Now, let me show you what I said, because I still hold with my opinion. Oops. I wrote, I just asked Prime Creator God about this. What I heard previously was that these were, quote, watchers, unquote, and that their job was to observe and report back to Source about what's happening on the earth and humanity. What I just heard was, this is not anything related to a vessel from human beings on earth, but it was a vessel. But there's a lot of typos I see here, but it was aggressive toward the watchers, or 3-eye atlas, and its purpose was to obstruct their mission, and so this happened. They must fulfill their mission, and it is time for this to occur. Their mission, that is. Now, some people responded and said some interesting stuff. One of these was someone that is sometimes on in our tribe, which is Nikki. Hey, Nikki, I saw your comment. She said, why would Source need a report? Seems to me it would be all-knowing. Yes, and that is very true. And I said, if you read the book of Job in the Bible, you might see evidence that there is a, quote, theater of, oh, another typo, theater of created beings. How interesting. See, I use a lot of speech to text, and it writes other things sometimes after I've even hit post. Theater of created beings, some of which have fallen and accused Creator of wrongdoing. Because Creator is just and apparently is for, quote, free will, watchers come to give an objective report for the theater of the heavenlies, so that all beings can observe and see that Prime Creator is just and LOVE, love, in all its actions. I need to fix that, but I probably shouldn't do it while I'm on here with you all. And, oh, I didn't see this before. Nikki says, gotcha. That makes sense as to why it didn't resonate for me. I agree. The source is just and love in all action. So there were a lot of comments here. Hello? I dropped you. I'm sorry. I don't believe that this was something from human beings, certainly not good human beings, that got knocked out by Three-Eye Atlas. But if something was trying to stop their mission and it was a vessel, then, well, they got stopped, didn't they? And I talk more about Three-Eye Atlas and what I feel I was shown that it is and what its mission is. And I'll plan on dropping a link to that in the comments, and I'm going to try and cut out the beginning of it where I was fighting with my technology and made a whole lot of clicking, cracking, snapping sounds. So we're dealing with, in my opinion, objective beings that are not on one side or the other. They are simply here to observe and record. And we see these beings showing up throughout time before major events. And there's a big recording of this in the book of Daniel. And watchers show up, they observe, and they did deliver a message too. So they're not to be taken lightly, but they are not our enemies. They are not here with their own objectives. They are here to observe and to report to the theater of the heavenly beings. So it's all kind of complicated and intense, but whenever they show up, there's something major in the works. And you might say, well, what is that? Well, in my opinion, we're on the edge of the new age, the new era, the new earth, 5D. It's time for us to no longer be a prison planet. It's time for human beings to finally come out of this oppressive coma we have been living in this oppressive atmosphere where our energies, our emotions, our loosh is feeding enemies who are imprisoning us and using us, much like you might have seen in the Matrix, as if Neo and all of them were copper tops, they were batteries, they were energy sources. And we see this is talked about, that there are these beings, the reptilians, or whatever you want to call them. And of course, we see recorded in ancient scripture about a reptile or a snake coming and deceiving humankind and talking us into giving up our rights. And we became oppressed, forgot who we were, and all of a sudden thought we were in opposition to, and that our Creator, Source, whom we're one with, hated us, didn't love us, and wanted no good for us, because that's what the snake thing said. And all of a sudden we entered into this unhealthy, extreme, binary way of looking at things, where night is bad, day is good, men and women are opposed to one another, not two sides of the same coin, etc. And fear entered in, and we were cut off from our source, our energy, our life, and we were no longer whole. And we lost some of our DNA, evidently, and we lost our memory. All of that is coming back. We're being rescued. We're having a big jailbreak, and it's pretty exciting. And I think that the watchers have come to report on that. And that's why we're seeing all these timeline shift availabilities like never before. We're seeing Mandela effects, and we don't talk about that one today. Okay, let's talk about Mandela effect just a little bit. There are many famous Mandela effects, and they named it after Nelson Mandela because when he supposedly, not that many years ago, died, it was in a totally different circumstance and timeline than a massive amount of the human population remembered. They remembered him dying way back, like in the 80s or 90s, or, you know, it was amazing. I don't remember the exact timeline, but they remembered it clearly, very clearly, because many people either loved him or hated him. And now all of a sudden, it was in the news that he had just recently passed away. And everybody was like, what? What? I'll tell you one that is very famous. It comes to my mind right away. There was a scripture in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that speaks about the millennium, about the day when all of this will cease, this negative stuff, and we would enter into this time of new earth. It said, talking about how nature will enter into wholeness and oneness, and mankind, or humankind also with it. And it said, the lion shall lay down with the lamb. Obviously, the lion now is the predator of the lamb and would not lie down with it in peace. It also says a child would play at the hole of the cobra or adder or asp, a very poisonous snake. But the famous scripture, the lion will lay down with the lamb, isn't even in the Bible anymore. It's not there. There are songs written about it. There are books noting it. But the scripture is not in the Bible at all anymore. Not even the oldest one you can find. Now it says, come on, brain. It's just so foreign to me. It's hard for me to even remember. Something like the wolf will lie down with the lamb. That isn't what it used to say. I know that. I remember it clearly. Many people remember it clearly. That's a Mandela effect. How did that happen? Many people believe that there is time travel, and it's been used by secret military and other cabals around the world. And every time they go back and they shift something, it messes with the timeline. And therefore, people remember things very differently. There's one about the Bearstein Bears and the Bearstein or whatever. I was never into that, but I've seen people talk about it. There's all kinds of Mandela effects that a large percentage of the population say was not like that before, and now all of a sudden it is. So that's connected with timeline shifts. And I believe, like the scriptures say, for the sake of those, it says the elect or the chosen ones. Literally, it's those who have chosen to follow after love and light and be all of that. I'm not going to go into details. Time would be cut short. I think we're seeing that. For the sake of us, time is being cut short. And we're seeing timelines change and shift. Thus the Mandela effects, thus the bizarre occurrences many of us have experienced, including me. Some of them are small, like watching the clock on your computer run backwards, like looking at your clock and it's 10 in the morning and sitting down and starting to do something, looking at your clock again and it's now 2 in the afternoon. Or like me, it was a small light thing, but I declared it was Sunday. It wasn't Sunday. You know, there's a lot of mild versions of this out there. There's some major ones, too. And you can believe in them or not. But you might want to say, like some of us, how do I catch a ride on a better, higher timeline with a better outcome? You might say, well, why would there even be options like that? Well, let's say your timeline ends on a terrible nuclear event. I don't think you want to ride that timeline. So you set your heart to love and to forgive and to choose to live intentionally in alignment with the higher frequencies, like love, unconditional divine love, forgiveness, non-judgmentalness, that kind of thing. You will draw to yourself that which is like the frequency you are vibing to. You will automatically be drawn to something of that higher frequency also. So when timeline shifts become available, I and many others choose to stay in this better high frequency vibe. Why? Because it's the best way to live anyway. Also, because it is part of the ascension process and we want to be ready when that day comes and everything goes high, we get to go with it. And the other thing is, if you live in the high frequency, then when the timeline opportunities show up for a better timeline, going to a better place, to a higher density, not 3D like we're living in right now, but perhaps 5D, which will be more like the millennium or heaven, the kingdom of heaven, a place where people love and care about one another and understand that what we do to one, we've done to ourselves because we're all connected. A place where there won't be hatred or fear or disease because we will be whole and we will understand that we're one with Source and with one another. Yeah, I want to catch that kind of timeline every time if I can. Absolutely. That's what this is about. So, that's why these intense energies are coming in. They are being sent by our Source, Prime Creator, and the angelic. However you want to translate that. Angels are extraterrestrial. They're not of the earth. And many angelic beings are assisting in this work that is happening in us and in the earth. Because why? Even if you think about that, everything is one. Everything is one. And if we, as the human race and earth, are living under a shadow of death and decrepitude, darkness that was never meant to be, then every other being in the universe and beyond is also being influenced by what we are going through. So all of creation is working together to break us free from this terrible oppression and imprisonment. It's good news. So when you feel the energies coming, take a deep breath, let it out, and realize that this is part of your deliverance, of your freedom, of your ascension, and that you will feel better soon. And do the heart-brain coherence meditation. It helps so much. Oh my goodness. I don't know of anything that can accomplish in 3 minutes what can be done during the heart-brain coherence meditation, because your heart, which is connected to the quantum field possibilities, will then inform your brain, which is grand central and controls what's going on in your body and your emotions and everything. So let's do that right now, shall we? It only takes 3 minutes. I'm going to describe it for you newbies, and then we're going to do it. No, it will not conflict with your religious beliefs, with your philosophy, or anything. It is an amazing, simple thing that you can do anytime. But when we do it together, it's like there's synergy. So I want you to take note quickly how you're feeling. Physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, all together. Because after we're done, I want you to notice if anything has changed. So, touch your heart area. This will activate the heart torus field, which is massive, even more than the brain torus field, energy field, which they say is the greatest force on the earth, as it's quantum. Okay, touch it. Now, imagine you're breathing in and out from the heart area, not just your nose and mouth. Ready? Let's breathe in. See it going into the heart area, coming out from the heart area. And the Heart Math Institute has scientifically proven this does change us. It changes our waves, our frequencies. So during this 3 minutes, I want you to try to remember every so often to see yourself breathing in and out from the heart area. Next thing, think about something you're very, very grateful for. Something that means a lot to you. I'm grateful for you all in our tribe, so I don't have to feel so alone in all these crazy things, unique things we're going through. I am very grateful for the day of my spiritual awakening when I met unconditional love. Otherwise, I would not be here. I would have succeeded in killing myself as a 13-year-old. Yes, we all have experienced things in our lives that are precious. Maybe it's your beautiful family, your children, your little fur babies. Think of something you are very grateful for. And that's what we're going to do for 3 short minutes. We're going to think and let ourselves feel whatever gratitude that comes, and imagine breathing in and out from the heart. And the things that can occur are absolutely miraculous. So let's do that, y'all. If your heart's doing a little flip-flop, if you got a headache, if you're feeling a little anxiety, it may be gone in 3 minutes. You may instead feel bliss, love, connectedness to source and to one another. So, let us... Oh, and I'll keep up with the 3 minutes, okay? Don't you be concerned about it. And let us begin. us, but wow. Just breathe it in and let everything go. Such beauty. Such love. Thank you. Good. Don't be concerned about me. I'm actually having my socks blessed off. Wow. And our 3 minutes is up. I will leave here. And it ended at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wow. I don't often get totally undone. Have my socks blessed off in front of however many people are watching, but it happened today. Woohoo! Now, I'm going to ask you, how do you feel compared to how you felt when we began? Did you sense anything as something different? Whether it's emotionally or physically or mentally. Did you have an aha moment? Did you have a awakening inside? Did you sense the others on our meditation, the others out there, the quantum world? Because we connected with love, to gratitude, and it's hard for me to talk right now. I want to just put my head down and cry because I'm overwhelmed with a bliss, and you know, it's an amazing thing when Spirit touches you in a way and opens you up like that. You can't manufacture it. And during times like that, you don't really know what has been accomplished or done. So that was priceless to me. And I will check to see what your comments are. I want you to know I love you all very, very much. I'm grateful for you. I have brushed hearts with many of you and minds. And today, I can feel you out there. I can sense you. And I love you. Makes you want to break into singing. Oh, what a wonderful world. Oh, well, beloved, I will check your comments eagerly to see who else was touched during that precious, sacred, spiritual, incredible moment of being touched by the infinite and into the quantum field. Love you much. Have a beautiful one. And I hope you catch a fabulous timeline. See you soon.